girl, your resident abundant bestie here, and welcome back to Unfiltered VidCon, the creator experience, where we get into the real moments, the connections, and all about the behind the scenes energy that makes VidCon 2025 such an amazing and special place to be. So grab your tea and open up your notes app because today's guest brings the joy and vibes in every interaction. Okay. I absolutely love her. She keeps it 100% real, whether she is sharing on TikTok, YouTube, or just chilling at a creator event. Astra, aka Amber Thomas, yes, we're going to use her whole government here, is joining us today. This is her third VidCon experience, and she's really got the inside scoop on how things have shifted from last year's TikTok heavy vibe to this year's more YouTube focused like energy. Amber, welcome. And for the folks, at home, they have never met you before and you're the first time seeing you today. Can you please introduce yourself and share with us what you're about and maybe how you got into the creator world in the first place?
Okay. Well, my name, like you said, is Asher Thomas. Also, my government name is Amber Thomas. I started content creation. When was it? Almost 3 years ago. Started doing videos for surprise toys because my youngest at the time really enjoyed those mystery unboxings. And sometimes when he would be watching them, a video would come up and inappropriate things would be. And I was like, well, if I'm making videos, I know that they're safe. I know that they're also things that I have that I can hand to him. And it's not like something that was open 3 years ago. And he's like, find this. And then you go to eBay and it's, $800. And you're like, no, it's like, here, have what we got. So I started doing that and met the community that was doing the same thing. And they were like, you need to try and go live. It's fun. Everyone's doing it. And I'm like, okay. And then I did it once and then I haven't stopped since then. I've changed platforms on what I'm mainly on. Started on TikTok, moved to YouTube about end of January, very part-time. Still getting into my groove and figuring out what I'm doing where and all of that. I was teaching full-time this past year and past couple of years at a at-risk school for youth that is a tuition-free school. All the money that we raised while live streaming went towards school supplies, clothing, food, and anything else that the kids might need during big things on TikTok that we were doing, like Live Fest, things like that, where we'd raise a ton of money. We would do special things. We got the school a new fridge one year. We were able to get laptops for teachers one year that needed them, not like in abundance. And just different things we've been able to supplement at the school, which has been a huge help. So that's what I do during my free time, I guess. It's not super free time, but so what on social media, I unbox mystery toys. I craft miniature foods. I sometimes will play cozy video games. We started with Animal Crossing. We've done Sims. Lately it's been Grow a Garden, which I know you love too. And we'll do what else? I don't know. I've done a variety. We kind of talked about that before. A variety of things on live, just where we can connect, hang out, and just build a good sense of community, which I think is super important online as well.
I absolutely love that you started because of your kid. You're like, what we're not going to do is this. What we are going to do is I will become the content. If he wants to watch this, I will become the content. And I love that. And that's that's so real. That's so real. Like you want to be a part of the better influence in the world. And I really appreciate you for taking that time and doing that, especially being a teacher, because that is a thankless job. Being a mom is a thankless job, but I'm on here to thank you for doing the jobs and also raising money for the school and helping them out. Are you planning to do that this year too for back to
Yes,
school?
so this year is a little different than years before. My husband travels a lot for work, and last year it got really hard. We just moved to a new building, so it's even farther from my house. And with my other two at a different school, and it's even farther, there was just no way with driving and who needs to be where, like when he was out of town for that to work. So this year I'm taking more of a role in substituting, making I'm doing all the food stuff, making sure that they have what they need. So more of kind of an unofficial role of helping and whatnot. So all the side stuff I was doing while teaching, but more so focusing on that. this next week I'm going up to school and organizing all my stuff so that they can use it, and hopefully that helps him a little bit better. But like last year and the years before, if I was ever sick or if I had to take off because he was out of town and I had to do all that stuff, we don't have substitutes. So that would fall on the other teachers. So now this year, I'll be that substitute. So if someone needs to be out, instead of them taking on, just a whole nother class would sometimes go into another room and they'd have them, or they'd end up just teaching, way more kids than they need. Now I can go in and actually be of help instead of like I felt like I was more of a burden, even though I know that's not true. But you know how you feel sometimes when you can't help it. So now I feel like I'll be able to do more so helping with all the things that need help as well. And then hopefully after this year, when my oldest will start to drive and things like that, I'll be able to get back into full time teaching. So it's just a pause for now, but I'll get back to it.
Love that you guys have figured that out in your guys' relationship, like where the stars need to be, if that makes sense, or the goals need to be had, and how you guys are the key
Mhm.
players in both of those things and figuring out what that looks like. And the fact that you're there to support support the support. That's what I call that role. And I love being in that role, but also like being on the front side too. Like I like both. So I completely get it. And I love this for you and that you are able to assist them and make things even better and easier by the time you come back next year. So let's go ahead and hop into the VidCon shenanigans. You've been to 3 VidCons as a creator. I would love to know, like, can you take us back to what you remember about your very first VidCon?
Yes. So let's see. I had started TikTok like that November before and joined the TikTok like team, like managed creators in like March. And this was right at the beginning of the live program. So it was very quiet. I'll say that. And during one of the meetings, they had talked about VidCon, my manager at the time. And he's like, oh, you need to go if you can. This is before, they invited live creators and things like that. He's like, it's good for, video stuff, whatever. I had never heard of VidCon, never even thought about any sort of thing like that. So I looked it up, I signed up then, and I went. I think at the time, I had about 17,000 on TikTok. So it was like the beginning of that journey and live streaming. And it was probably the best one that I've been to out of the three, which sounds crazy to think, but best in the ways of like expectations, because I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what I was going to do, the relationships that I met there that helped shape what I'm doing and things like that. So that's what started it. And then last year's was I was invited by TikTok through the live program. So a lot of the stuff that I did was more geared towards TikTok only and not so much what I was doing, if that makes sense. So like the parties were celebrating TikTok stuff, things like that. And it wasn't very networky. It was just more of hanging out, which is always necessary too. Yeah, it was different. And this year was good in the way that it was more focused on me and like kind of what I wanted to do and all the different things that could help out what my new direction was going to be, and looking at the different avenues with that and trying to figure out what I want to do. Because, like you've said, I'm still learning, and learning a whole new app is, whew, it's a lot, but it was good to go for sure.
I love that. I love that it's changed every single year. I know you said that last year was very TikTok oriented for you. Year felt more general and figuring it out and getting your footing and focusing more on YouTube. Like, what exactly, like, why are you making this shift? Why is this that time now to make this shift from TikTok to YouTube? I'm trying to understand this because I know everyone has their own reasons as to why they will switch social media platforms that becomes their primary. So my question to you is, why are you switching when I know that you are monetized on TikTok? So I'm like, everyone says TikTok is the place to be. Like everybody. So I'm trying to figure this out. What happened? What shifted for you? Let me know.
Well, when TikTok put in TikTok Shop, they changed a lot of what I could do on live. Labels, branding, things like that couldn't be in camera anymore at all. So like if I'm unboxing something, it couldn't have a label on it. It couldn't show what it was because AI would pick it up and then you'd get like violation after violation. and then you get banned. And so then it's like I was trying to figure out what to do without showing labels. So that took out a lot of unboxing. It took out a lot of like that mystery of it. And then when you have to rethink how to do what you're doing, but a completely different way, when you're already trying to figure it out weekly of adding new things to keep it, vibrant and lively and different than what everybody else is doing, it got hard. But I did it. I did it every week, kept doing it, but it just kept being more things I'd take away. And I'm not saying this to be mean, but I'm saying it truthfully. It got to a point where they're letting everybody live stream, which isn't a problem. I think everybody should have the opportunity to get on, go live, and showcase what they want to showcase. But I do know that there's some people that do not need to be live because I did see, people using it kind of like more like a FaceTime, like they're sitting there just chatting with somebody else and not interacting with the chat, things like that. And every time that there's creators on the app and they're live streaming, it takes up feed. So then getting seen was a lot less. A lot of just toxic things coming from management, a lot of toxic things coming from people, I felt like I lived inside the app from the minute I woke up to the time I went to bed. It wasn't sustainable. It made me feel like I was less than, which was not true, and brought me to the point where I felt like if I don't move, I'm quitting. And with YouTube putting live streams into shorts, I knew about it about a year or so ago. When I first started trying it, the quality was awful. People couldn't see what I was doing. It would get all funky, and it just wasn't the right time. So I'd come back every now and then to try it out because I knew like the opportunity for this is huge. To be pushed out in the shorts will be huge. And it wasn't the right time. Finally, like one day we'll have a conversation of everything that happened with TikTok, and man, do I have a lot of things to tell you on it. Because if I told you now, we'd be here for 17 hours. I'm not kidding.
That's a
But it's a lot. It's a lot. But it finally got to the point where they changed the monetization to where they made it seem like you would get more than what you were getting and that there was a chance to get it. But because I'm smart and I read everything, I sat there and did it on my whiteboard at school because we would do coffee chat before I started school because I have an hour before I started because of having to drive my kids back and forth and whatnot if my husband was out of town. He happened to be in town, so I got to school an hour ahead of time. We get on live and do coffee chat on TikTok, whatever. I sat there and I put all the numbers down and I sat down and I broke down this whole new rewards program and found out that I would always get 1% less than I was getting, period. So basically, they were going to take another percent away from me off of what they were already getting and then throw in fees, things like that. Now you're down to like 29% after fees and all that. And I was like, I am petty enough that over 1% I'll leave on top of the, 17 hours worth of other stuff. That was like my final just straw because I kept thinking things were going to get better and it just kept being like worse. And you also couldn't believe that they were going to do the things they said. So for like Live Fest, we did, and mind you, this is when I'm in school. This is when I have a full day of school. So before school, after school, before bed, like I wouldn't see my kids that week. I'd be on live from like every free moment I had to get on live because people would have to come in and vote and things like that. Did it for a whole week, right? So then you get voted, top creators of the year. There's supposed to be a party. That's your reward is being flown out to LA for this party and you stay and they have an award show and you get all this swag. Well, that happened to be during the LA fires. So they canceled it, said that they were going to reschedule it. They decided not to reschedule it and that they were donating our prizes to the victims of the LA fires and donating money to them. So that was another thing. Again, I'm all about helping people that need help, things like that. But without it as a live streamer, and that doesn't have the numbers that other people do to show that they're good at what they do, because I'm not saying it's bad, it's different. There's no really metrics. There's no metrics to say. Like all the likes I would get on live don't attribute to my likes on my video page. So brands can't see it. But if I say, oh, I was top this in the country on TikTok, blah, 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 that's something tangible. But they didn't post it. They didn't do any of the things they said they were going to do. And I couldn't believe them anymore. And wording is huge. Legal wording is huge. The way that they would post things. We can take this away for any reason, basically. We can take away monetization. It's happened to people I know. They can take it away for any reason they want. And they have the wording that says it. And that's part of this new program too. And I said, I don't like the wording on this. How am I supposed to fight this? If I get a violation because of AI and I say to them, that's not right, they could just be like, well, it's what it is. It's in the wording. They take 20% more of your cut. So it was very much like that unknown and that uneasiness of like, they can just say whatever and it can happen. And then you have no say and that you're going to lose that money and you're going to lose this. And it's like, I already lose that time. I already lose this. And then if I lose that too, it's like, yeah, I didn't like the wording anymore. I just, no, I was done. I wanted to go somewhere where what they say is what they mean. This is what's going to happen if this happens. I needed to get out of that toxicity and that cycle of all of that and just get back to what I like to do and then create and not be so worried about the numbers that they want to see or the money they want to see or things that just were not happening. And they just keep saying, oh, you just got to be live more. No, it's not true. So just, I needed to either, I said it's either going to work or I'm completely done and I'm quitting. And man, that first week and a half was scary because it does take time for YouTube to build, especially live streaming, for them to see that you're serious about it and for them to start pushing you out more. And I wasn't seeing numbers, like I was seeing decent numbers, but I was like, is this going to work? Because this is the only way I grow. And after about a week and a half, it like clicked. It was finally, I was posting enough, consistent enough, whatever. And then bam, it just started. And then I was like, this is it. This is where I'm supposed to be. And then just kept doing it. Obviously, still part time because of school and whatnot. But yeah, so that's in the very brief but also long explanation of why I moved. But yeah, mental health is important, especially with what we're doing and feeling good about where you're posting too. And I needed to do it.
It makes sense, and I'm sorry that you experienced that, like, because that's, like, none of that's cool, especially when, like, you try to believe what their word is their word, but their word is also a way to them for them to weasel themselves out of what they're saying, and they don't stand 10 toes, like, on business, so, like, I'm sorry that, like, you experienced that, and so, I make sense why you're shifting. That totally makes sense, and I know YouTube was this year's main sponsor for VidCon, like, they were everywhere we went. VidCon, YouTube celebrating 20th birthday party, celebrating here. So speaking of celebrations, I know we've met at a party, but I want to
Yeah.
know about the parties that you went to. I know we met at the mini chat networking party, and there was all types of makers for Snapchat, fourth wall. There were I think there was like over 40 parties within like a couple of days. There's no way, but I want to know the tea from you specifically, like, was there any standout moments, surprise connections, or a lesson that you took away from being in those off the clock spaces with other content creators?
Well, so I met you through Dr. Nas, and this is the first time I've met him in person. I've been telling him to come to VidCon because I met him through TikTok. And I've been telling him, like, hey, you got to come to VidCon. You got to come to VidCon. Almost had him convinced last year, but couldn't make it work. And then this year, he's like, I'm coming. And then I felt bad because I was like, oh, this isn't the same as last year. I'm so sorry. But it worked out for him. So it was good. So many moments. I really enjoyed seeing other people create content, seeing the ideas that they come up with. It kind of helped me come up with ideas and also kind of get out of my shell a lot because I don't show my face a lot on screen. It's usually my hands, and I'm a private person, but I'm trying to be more open with sharing also because like a lot of people can live stream and just be like, oh, I'm out and I'm doing this, this, and this. And I feel weird about it, but I'm trying to get out of that weirdness and get more into like, yeah, look, here's this, 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 and this. And even though I live stream, it's different when it's like I don't have a plan and it's more free flowing. So just being able to see other people do it and how they do it. And like Dr. Nas getting out there with his gift cards and asking questions and how he gets so many videos out of it and like seeing how people get ideas for just their different kinds of content, but still in their same niche. And it was really inspiring for me too, because again, when you're content creating, you're usually by yourself and you're not doing it with other people. So it's good to be around other people. The many chat,
Yeah, mini chat.
man, many chat. I always want to say mini because that's what Dr. Nas kept doing. He'd be like the mini chat. I'm like, I think it's many, and he kept saying mini, and it's like,
Oh,
oh, it's
wow. Because
many.
I was like, I'm confused. And then I was like, oh, no, many as in variety, as in vast amount, as
Yeah,
in many, MANY,
yep.
not
And he
MI.
kept Yep, and he kept saying mini, and I was like, so then it kept making me think, is it mini or is it many? But that was the only one that I went to. I didn't know about the parties. This is the first year that I heard about them because last year when I went to parties, like TikTok had a really big one for their video creators, and like we're always kind of brought on as a side event, like, yeah, come on, whatever. And like we had a brunch for the live team and things like that. But I didn't know like the brands through parties and stuff like that. Again, I'm still learning all of this. I'm still learning that there's other cons that are going on. I feel like I missed a manual on how to be a content creator with all this outside stuff because like I've been so in. So I'm still learning all of that stuff. But yeah, that was the only one that I went to, but it was very important, I guess. It was very valuable to be at that party. One, because I figured out that they even happened. Two, some of the people that I talked to, especially one, I cannot remember his name. I'm terrible with names, but he does content creation for the Bulls and he does marketing. And he was talking about different events that would be beneficial to go to that most content creators don't think of. So like that put that under my radar for helping with figuring out other places to go for networking and things like that. Cause that's one thing that I have a hard time with is figuring out how to connect with brands, how to connect with the people that should want to give me money. And I like to do that in person. That's how I started one of my connections was I met them at VidCon my first year, and that led to a lot of good things coming from it. And that was when I had 17,000 followers. Like, it doesn't matter if you make the right connections and you show your work, and they're just like, I love this. Yes, let's do stuff together. So I think it's very important to do the in person stuff. It's more of finding the right things. But like you've said before, and I 100% agree with, you're going to be where you need to be and at the right time. And that party was definitely one of those. I didn't stay too late though, because I was tired. It's definitely that kind of one of those things where you're busy from the time that you wake up to the time that you pass out at night. And it's busy, but it's worth it for sure.
It is. I'm gonna put a couple of places on your radars. The CES is one of the events that I highly recommend for creators, as well as the NAP show, as well as Creator Economy Live. So let me now explain these things. So CES is the Consumer Electronics Show. It will literally have all the latest and greatest when it comes to electronics and tech. I love it because I get to meet with different brands and get to see what's about to be released to market and start thinking of ways I can start getting my audience ready now for what they're about to see later. In addition to that, they also have like a creator like track and stuff like that. It's normally at the Aria. CES is, I'll call it the Olympics. And I explain that the Olympics because of how much walking. It's across multiple properties on the Las Vegas Strip. It
Oh,
takes
wow.
time to go from one property to the other. They do have shuttles, which makes it a lot easier, but those lines are long and all the in between. So you need to have a strategy before you even go in. So that's one. Their Economy Live is normally the next one after. It's normally in February in Las Vegas. You're also having one in August in New York City, and New York City is about to be wild with how many big name brands are going to be at the New York one. Creator Economy Live is more about like content creation as well as like what influencing platforms they're using for like listening research and stuff like that, as well as like gifting campaigns. People will be there. There will be agencies at this event. There'll be a lot of different things that will support content creators. Now, NAP Show. NAP Show is the National Association Broadcast Show. That event happens out here in Las Vegas, and I personally like it because of the fact that those are where all the media brands are, like the big name. Like we're thinking Monocaster, Ceramonic, Osmo, all of the tech that we're using, they're going to be at that convention. And the thing is content creators are not really going to that convention, so it's A1. TV producers are there. It's a lot of big names that a lot of people don't get access to that go to the NAP show. So I would recommend as a content creator to add it to your roster of events. I know it's a lot of Las Vegas events, but you have a Las Vegas bestie, me. So you're going to be fine no matter what you decide to choose. So I'm going to give these three to you because I go to these ones every single year. And this is why I never go and do industry at VidCon, because I
Hmm.
normally already know what's happening in industry from these industry events as well, without me having to pay for any of them. I get into all
Hmm.
these events and I absolutely love each and every single one of them. So I will throw that one out there. I do have questions for you because you mentioned
Yes.
something so near and dear to my heart. You said mental health and self care, and now I got questions because you were running
Hmm.
around, you were networking, you were creating, you were doing
Hmm.
the most. You were being the abundant bestie, and I love it. But I have a question for you. How are you? How you doing? You okay? Because
I
I know you on
am,
self-care break.
yes, it's been a good break. I don't think since I've started that I've taken this much time, we'll say off, because like I'm part-time of the part-time right now. Like I'm still doing things, but I'm not in my heavy mode, we'll say, which is also, I feel terrible because like I'm just starting with the YouTube program as well. I'm still showing up to all of that and putting my best foot forward and whatnot. And luckily I'm moving all my TikTok videos to YouTube. So like that content is coming out, but it's getting taking a break is bringing back the ideas, the creativity, the things I want to do. It's making me feel more at peace with my decision. It's helping me change my mindset of being in a completely different app, which you think you wouldn't need a different mindset, but you do. And untraining my brain from all that toxicity and all that stuff that I believed was a part of content creation and just kind of like retraining all of that so that when going forward, it's going to be better for my mental health as well, so that I'm doing it right and I'm not jumping back into it going 800 and then crashing. So making sure that when this period is over, that I'm getting back into it, but I'm doing it right. And I'm doing it in a way that's sustainable and where I can keep that creativity flowing and knowing when to take breaks and knowing that it's okay and that it is allowed and that I'm in charge of it. And it's not based on, what an app says and that if you take time off, like you're going to just destroy your algorithm and things like that. Like that just isn't sustainable. And so it's been a good month of that clarity and that time that I needed. And I think that's going to help getting back into it and putting my best foot forward and figuring out all the next steps and all the next content and being available and consistent when I do come back, which is important.
Would you be open to share one of your new boundaries that you're setting for yourself?
That I don't need to be live every single day. That is a hard thing that has been just put in my head. Like when this brings it back to TikTok. A lot of the things that were said was, you've got to be live at least 4 days a week. You've got to try to go on as long as possible. And now one of my main boundaries is that when I'm starting to feel tired or I'm starting to feel like this is the end and it's a good stopping point, I'm ending the live. I'm not sitting there trying to make it go as long as possible, which I've noticed just like kills it because you're tired, you're stretching on, and that's not putting your best face forward either. And it's not fun. It's not fun if you're just trying to drag it out for no reason. Quality over quantity, basically. Making sure I have a plan, stick to it. If we're done at 45 minutes instead of an hour, we're done at 45 minutes. We hit what we needed to do. We had a good time. It's over. I don't need to be like, oh, what else should we do? I didn't hit an hour. Like getting that out of my head and putting it straight into what we're doing and making sure it's fun, it's what we want to do, and like it has a purpose, basically, not just to be live to keep an algorithm happy. We're going live to have a good time with community and enjoying the collections that we're doing or the crafting that we're doing or the game that we're doing. Like that obviously goes longer than an hour. But, still setting those boundaries where it's like, oh, you know what? It's a good time for me to end because it can always continue. It can always go. There's always going to be new people coming in, which I know I always had an issue with stopping because it's like, oh no, but these new people are coming in. I'd hate to end now. But I'm doing it. I'm just saying, you know what? I'm done. Sorry. Make sure you subscribe, follow, whatever. We'll be back another day. We'll have fun. It was going to meet you even for like 2 seconds if you just came in at the end. But the nice thing about YouTube is you can watch the live if you missed the whole thing and caught the end. That's one of the other reasons why I'm glad to be on YouTube with that. Because on TikTok, they'll give it to you where you can download it after, but you can't upload and, your whole live over there. It doesn't work, but YouTube, it puts it up for you. So it is nice if someone misses it, they can go back and rewatch it. So I feel like I did lose a lot of the content I made on TikTok because it was live streamed and it wasn't safe.
It makes sense. I'm sorry to hear that. I keep saying sorry because TikTok is like that abusive person that you were in a relationship with and you
Yes.
just got out.
My gosh,
And
I
I'm just
feel like I
like,
tell that to everybody that it was. It was like an abusive relationship. And because like when I looked back at everything, there's so many red flags. But again, you don't see it because you want to
You're
believe the
excited.
best in it. You're
Yeah.
excited. And every single one of them, I kept saying, oh, it's going to get better. Oh, it's going to get better. It's going to get better. So, like,
That
also this
sounds
time off,
like the victim in
I
a abusive relationship. They're
know.
like, he's going to get better. She's going to get better. It's going to get
Hmm.
better. And it never gets better. It gets worse.
Nope,
It
it
gets
gets
worse.
worse. It gets worse, and the promises are fake and false. And I'm telling you,
I'll
yeah,
just,
that's why a lot of this mental health break was kind of, I don't want to say reprogramming
you
because
are
that's not
healing
right because I'm a
and
human being, but yeah,
you
healing.
are reprogramming because the thing is, okay, let me say this. I got you. I'm gonna hold your hand when I say these words. So, yes, it is reprogramming. Yes, it is because you literally stopped listening to your intuition at a point, and you have been literally abusing that and not listening to yourself for however long you were doing things with that partner of TikTok and the way that you were doing it and the way that they were asking it. And the thing is, it is reprogramming yourself because you have to go from one program to the next program. That program was I have to live stream and I have to listen to everything that they're saying. This new program that you're in, you're like, nah, bless you, but no, that's not what I do because I am the creator. Like, you don't get my stuff unless I allow you to have access to me. That's how that goes. And that's a reprogramming. That is healing trauma. That's healing of I don't feel like I'm enough because they told you you were not enough because you weren't showing up quote unquote enough, but you were literally there fueling and funding their platform for them for pretty much free compared to what they were actually doing. So I will say, no, you're fine. You're okay. And everything that you believe is true. Okay. And no, just, I'm just going to say, and no. Okay.
Mm,
Because no, that's what I said. It was
yep,
giving
and
toxic.
definitely.
It was giving toxic.
Oh yeah, and I am one of the. I don't want to say lucky, but I'm one of the ones that was able to walk away. There are people that are not because it that is their job and that's how they fund their life or their nonprofits that they work for or things like that. And for me, it wasn't worth it. It wasn't worth it anymore. The money was not equaling me and my mental health and dealing with that anymore. And I was like,
And there's no
I'll
PTO.
figure out a different way. No PTO. There is
Yeah.
no PTO. And especially when you do it by yourself, you're doing it by yourself. And yeah, there's a lot of times where I wanted to quit completely, and it was just more of one of those things where it's like, all right, this is it. Either this works or I'm done, and I have to be okay with it. And I had to get to that point, like most people in abusive relationships have to get to that point that they have to be done. Even though in my brain I was done probably 6 months before I even was done, I still let it continue because I was hopeful and I
Yeah.
didn't want to leave what I was comfortable in. I didn't want to leave my friends that were over there. I didn't want to leave what I was like super sucked into. I wanted it to get better because I did love it and I did love what I was doing over there. And now it's a completely different love and I'm so much happier and things are so much better and the money's different. It's not the same, but it's worth so much more. It's worth being happy and content and enjoying what I'm doing again. And all of that drama and toxicity and negativity is gone. It's like a huge weight off my shoulders that I'm not
I'm really
carrying
happy.
anymore. Me
So
too.
happy for you. Like
Me
I'm
too.
like I am really so happy for you because like there are a lot of people that are at a toxic job with a toxic manager that they don't like, but they're there because they have to provide for their family. It's the same concept, whether you're a content, it doesn't matter what industry you're in. You deal with it in every single industry. And when you finally get to enough's enough and then you actually stand up for yourself, first it's scary because you're like, I have all the people I used to have. Like, I don't have the support system I used to have. Like, my support system is going to look different. Am I going to be able to do this by myself? Am I going to give up because it just feels like too much in the hand because I don't have that support? And so I will say that I'm thankful and grateful to you for being so open and transparent. And I have a question for you when it comes to like, I'll say advice for other content creators, especially just thinking about the creators that like the Dr. Nasses of the world that they're thinking about going to VidCon for their first time, or even those that went this year but felt overwhelmed. Like, what advice could you give them? Is there anything that you wish you could have done differently this year, or a win that you want to celebrate?
Well, let's see. I think it all depends on what you're going for. That's a huge start. Like, know what you want out of the trip, out of the convention. What are you going for? Are you going for everything that's on level one, which is all of the vendor booths and all of the fun things. If you're planning on doing that and just having fun, you don't need too much of a plan except for what time to get there, what time to get in line. Make sure you eat some food, hydrate, wear good shoes. Always wear good shoes at these because you're going to walk a lot. Um, let's see. I always look ahead of time to see like what brands are going to be there, what talks are going to be going on. Do I want to go to any of them? Sitting there planning out what I'm going to do ahead of time. I'm a big planner and all of that because you want to make sure that you're going to go to the things that you want to go to. Some of it's more open-ended. Like I usually will start and go on the main floor first thing, live stream that right away, go through, show everybody what's there. That also kind of gives me a lay of the land too of like what I want to see, what I want to hit. Thursday is the first day, and on the main floor, if you're in there right as it opens, you're gonna get in the lines right away, which there's long lines most of the time, which will take hours to go through. So if there's something you want to see, someone you want to talk to, Thursday's the best day, especially with brands, because it's not as crowded as Friday and Saturday usually are. So it's a good time to start that networking, that first start of the day, because it's fresh, no one's really there yet, except for, all the crazy kids in some booths, will always be crazy. But the ones that don't have people at, that's usually where I'll start. And then just kind of like map out my plan as I'm going off of that. So being open to changing your plan is huge too, because you never know what opportunities are going to come up. You never know what you might see that's different that you want to go to. Meeting up with other creators is one that I suggest that everybody does. Meet up with the people that you know. If you don't know any, start making friends because that's like I didn't know, like I knew Dr. Nas was going to be there and like one other of my friends, and that was it. And so like I met everybody else there through things, like walking around through people and whatnot, and made a bunch of good connections that way. Because even if you think someone's not going to be a good connection on what you do with your live streaming, your video creation, your movie making, whatever, they might know somebody that you don't know, or they might know a party that you can go to, or you might have some tips for them on something that they want to try out. Like it's all good networking no matter what, as long as you're open to it. There are people who are not open to it. They can go away. But finding like-minded creators is a big, big thing there for sure.
I love that. So what's next for you, bestie? Like anything that you're excited to create or launch now that VidCon is behind you? We got the rest of the year. We got Black Friday. We got the holidays. The holidays
Oh
are
my
about to be
gosh.
here.
Yes.
So anything next?
Trying to figure that out still. Trying to figure out what the plan is. I'm looking for networking events, things like that. Trying to figure out like what I want to do, which is always the thing. Like, oh, what do I want to do? I don't know. Usually it'll be last minute and I figure it out at some point. But trying to figure out more of a schedule because that's not something I've been good with. I have times that I like to go live, but days of the week. I would like to cement that down and be consistent with that. That's been hard because sometimes they'll be like, oh, I want to do this on this day. And it'll be completely like I used to never go live on Wednesdays and everybody knew it. Now I'm like, hey, you know what? Wednesday's a good day. Let's do it here. But that's because TikTok would update on Wednesdays and it would always be when I was live and it would kill it every time. So now it's like figuring out a good schedule that works for me and everybody. Same times, just picking days and being consistent with it so that people know what we're doing when. Because I will change my mind a lot. I'll be like, yeah, we're going to do this tomorrow in live. And I'll show up and we playing a game. Oh, I woke up and felt like doing this differently. That's not fair. So I need to do what I want to do, but also do it in a scheduled time frame. So working on that and not being so fly by the seat of my pants. I mean, it works for me, but it doesn't work for the people watching, working on that. Coming up with more video ideas. I'm not, okay, I'll change that. I'm still learning with videos. See, I
I'm
did
so
it.
proud of you because y'all, I just need y'all to know. I told her before this, I was like, if she starts doing anything that's going to subtract from her, I'm going to have a moment. That's why I just looked at her because I was like, you going to do it? I felt
Nope,
it. But
I changed it up. I'm still learning with videos. It's not my strong suit, but I'm learning. So I'm playing with it and learning how to not criticize myself for those videos when they go out and because I'll compare myself with live streams with that and being like, why isn't that working the way I want it to? Instead, now I'm trying to take a deep breath and being like, you need to do something different. Let's figure it out. So it's like learning all of that and trying to figure out what to do differently, what works, what doesn't. It takes research. Again, trying to find time to do that as well. So it's more learning, more playing with things. YouTube has so many different
Features
features. Yeah. So
and
it's learning all the
formats.
features, trying to use them all, trying to use them the best of my ability, and trying to learn how that works for me and how to connect with people through those things. Some
Mhm.
of them I get right away, some of it I'm still learning. So I think that's what's coming up next is more learning, more connecting with other creators, trying to figure out ways to make my content, I don't know, just still more of that reprogramming and making it just more back to like what it was at the start. More of that just
Before you had to
excitement and
schedule
fun.
everything and make it so regimented and having to take
Yeah.
things out because you can't show brands and you can't show logos and
Hmm.
you can't do this and you can't do that. And now you're in that place and space where you're coming back to what you can do. And there's a lot
Hmm.
more things you can do than what you can't
Yes. A
do.
lot
So that
more
means
freedom.
a lot.
So trying to figure out what to do with all that freedom and but trying to make it exciting, make it different than what, like I said before, that like a lot of people are content creating now. A lot of people are going live. So like what I've done before isn't gonna always, be as good as some of the things that other people have come up with. And making sure that what I'm doing is engaging and that it's building that community and that it's a positive place where people feel welcome and that they want to be. And just trying to stay true to that and trying to just keep doing that as it grows, basically.
And so where can people find you?
Well, I'm on TikTok still. There's still videos there. I might not be live streaming, but I'm live streaming on YouTube and I post on Instagram. My Instagram and my YouTube are the same. It's Asher Thomas 22 and my TikTok is Asher Thomas.
I love that so much. I just want to thank you for even taking the time to like come on, share your VidCon wisdom, your journey through your creator life, as well as just being open and honest and 100% real and authentic. Because you're like, I should, but I'm gonna say it, and I'm like, yeah, say it, 10 toes down. I'm so
Mhm.
proud of you.
Well, one thing that you'll find from me is I'm just not good at lying. Like I'm just not. And so it's just like I might not say or I shouldn't say some of the things I say, but at the same time it's like I'm gonna be transparent. This is what happened. I might not give you all of the info, but I'll give you what you need to know to help understand motivations, reasons, things like that.
And I
And
appreciate you so very much. If y'all really enjoyed today's conversation, there's more. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with another content creator in your life, especially ones on TikTok right now. If you have that content creator friend or someone that's planning to go to TikTok, send this video to them. Let them make a fully educated decision on whether that's going to be their platform or they're going to add another platform in addition to that platform as their overall where they show up. And if you want more unfiltered stories, more tea, more behind the scenes from VidCon 2025, please feel free to check out the full playlist here on the YouTube channel. It's going to be up here in the description and at the very end of this video. And don't forget to also check out her page as well. It is linked down in the description. I try to make y'all life so easy in this description section. I promise. I promise I do. Until next time, keep showing up, keep building community, and stay unfiltered. Love you guys.